And then the other loophole you need to close is the anchor baby. The anchor baby was never intended to be what it is today. It was intended, the 14th Amendment, for slaves not born in America to become citizens after they were freed in 1865. Now what that has turned into is you are a pregnant illegal alien driving across the border while you're in labor. You circle the hospital until your water breaks, and then you go into the emergency room, which now you have a legal guarantee to your care, and you deliver your baby on American soil, and that baby is an American citizen. That was never the intention, and that is one of the things that is hurting this country so badly. So you must close that loophole, and you can do it with Congress, and if the courts shoot it down, then I say change the Constitution. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that brings us a whole other set of problems with speaking English. Okay, because obviously these people are not going to be able to speak English. My daughter is a family therapist who just recently got laid off in LA County. And 7 out of the 10 jobs she applies for, you have to be.
Yeah, and here's my take on that. First, if you're United Airlines, did I mention that again, Toby? Did I mention United again?
Delta.
If you're Delta Airlines, if you're Sears, if you're the local restaurant, I could care less if you offer your menu in English and Spanish and every other language. I could care less if I have to hit number 1 for English when I call up, United to get a ticket. Because they're doing that because they think they can make more money by doing that. That's the American way. You do whatever you want. When it comes to the government, America is great because she's good, I said that. But America is also great because we do have diversity. When that diversity is melted together, for all these experiences, all these talents from all these different directions, and they are going for a common goal, that is strength. When you take the diversity that's in America, and you think about this just for a second, you go to any other country in the world and try to immigrate. You will never be a Spaniard. You will never be a Kenyan. You will never be Chinese. You will always be that American guy that came over here, right? Or American gal. If you come to America, the day you raise your hand and give your oath as a citizen, you are an American and nobody questions it. That is what's beautiful about this country. That is what's great. Okay? That is something to hang on to and never forget. But we go back to that melting pot. That common goal, that common culture, that is why my ancestors came here, why so many of your ancestors came here. We don't want to lose that. So the common goals, the melting pot must be safeguarded by our government. That is one of their roles. And to do that, there should be no government forms in any other language than English. Because if you put it in Spanish, well, now you're just discriminating against the Vietnamese, right? I'm a Vietnamese guy, and hey, where's Vietnamese? So now you've got to put every language on that thing. It's an investment of the taxpayers' dollars. Why should I cater to that as well? It's a waste of taxpayers' dollars to cater to this, and the negative effect is diverging our culture and making us go different directions. When it comes to the language, English needs to be the language of America, and it needs to be reinforced through our government policies and programs to where English is what we work with. And if you don't speak it, then get your relative that does, get your friend, your church member, whatever, and get into the system. So does that help with your question?
As long as it happens.
That is what I will work towards. But I will need your help to get there. Now I'm campaigning again. What else you got? Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Hey, I know I was feeling kind of bad because I had notes, but anyways, yes, no teleprompter. And like I said, this environment, this is what American government should be. Assume for a moment I am your congressman. I'll be back here again. I'll be in the district again having a town hall, having you ask me, why did you vote for that? What were you thinking? And I'll tell you. Yes.
Well, it's really exciting to see somebody out here and talking about this. However, we have other Republicans that are and conservatives who are in office who don't seem to have been able to stand up and make changes, or it seems like all they're doing is protecting their little area of paradise. Mm-hmm. And I understand that the political scene, when you move your office to the big office is if you rock the boat at all, they give you the office. It's down at the basement, at the end of the hall, back around, and it's really tiny. And you have to pay your dues so how do you propose waking up some of the Republicans who have just been sitting there going, not really taking a stand?
That's a great question. I'm going to answer it from a couple of different angles. One, there's strength in numbers. And those that may be weak when they're in the minority will be stronger when they're in the majority. So they will come on board. Two, I don't care if I get a basement office. I really don't. I will be the same congressman either way. Three, when I beat George Miller, that will be the greatest prize in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I will have won on the message that we are discussing here today. And like I said earlier, I am not going to go to Washington to be a part of the crowd. I am going to be a leader fighting for the very principles that we discussed. So when you talk about people that are just controlling or just trying to protect their own or aren't standing up, that's what I talk about, leadership. You have to have leaders as your congresspeople and your senators and your president. You have to have leaders that are willing to take the risk, go out and say, this is what I think we should do. Follow me. And if you don't like me in America, you get to vote them out. But I'll be that leader that says, go this way. And others will follow. Now, the majority will get to. We'll definitely get to. When it comes to balancing the budget, we have to. So that's how we get there. And I will have that extra credibility of beating George Miller to be a leg up than just the average freshman congressman. I will have to pay some dues. I don't expect to be a chairman of any committee. I do expect to be on the Congressional Budget Committee. I will stand up and down and jump up and down in the center of the House floor until they put me on that budget committee, because that's what I ran on. That's how I will have beaten George Miller, and that's what the American people want to see.
So we want to see that.
Yeah, you'll see me there. Leadership, willing to risk, those are the kind of people you want to vote for. Strength in numbers, others will come along. There is hope, there will be change. Good, in the right direction. Gosh, did I use that word? Sorry. What else you got?